And we are live. Awesome. Yay.
Hey, we're here. Welcome, everyone. We are super excited to join you for this co-taught lesson. Today, we are going to do templates using PowerPoint. And I hope when you're watching today, you're like, whoa, I didn't know PowerPoint can do that. So we are like just taking PowerPoint to a whole new level today. I'm super excited. I have made you some really, I think, pretty awesome custom templates just for you. So Shawnee, do you want to say hello?
Hi, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here. I heard rave reviews about this workshop with you, so I'm looking forward to learning more about PowerPoint. And I'm coming from the States. I'm coming from Connecticut and super excited.
Awesome. Thanks, Shawnee. And whenever I work with Shawnee, I always say, like, we're going coast to coast because I am literally on the entire different coast of North America. I am in Victoria on the south end. I am on the local territory of the West Saanich peoples. But welcome. We are super happy to be with you today. And I think I'm going to blow Shawnee's mind with some of the templates because he hasn't even seen all of them yet. I know he's going to love them. And I know he's going to want to use them just like you in the classroom to share your learning, your understanding, your ideas, and really just take your projects to a whole new level. That's the goal today. Before we do, it is very likely you are participating and learning from or near the traditional territory land of one of the many Indigenous groups across Canada. I'd like to acknowledge that I am from the traditional territory. I'm a settler on the West Saanich land, beautiful coastal land on southern Vancouver Island, on which I'm able to teach, learn, explore, and share my passion with you. And my passion being using technology in really creative ways. So buckle up. Big thank you to Microsoft for being here, and we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you for supporting these sessions. Now, remember, you can see and hear us, but we can't see or hear you. But we would love to interact with you. Throughout this session, we have a form. We encourage you to type in the cc.page/answer2 in a new tab. If you have questions, maybe you want a shout out. Maybe if you're like, whoa, I love that template and I'm going to use that in the future, please use it. The cc.page/answers2. Open that up in a new tab and you'll be able to interact with Shawnee and I for the next hour. And we love interacting with you. So there is the form. One more time, the cc.page/answers2.
So Tyler's already in there. I think he must have done one of these workshops before or something.
I love it. So that actually brings us to our next question is, who are you? What grade are you in? And where are you joining us from? Now, I know we're going to have a bunch of viewers because we've kind of done this custom session for a certain part of Canada and Quebec today. So we might have quite a few from a certain area or school district, which we're really excited. So if you want to shout out for your school, for your name, your grade, drop us in that form. Shawnee, have we had anyone else join us?
So far, it's just, oh, whoa, hold on a second. No, we've had several people join us. We've had Michelle's here, Darren's here. Several people are jumping in. It looks like mostly like grade 9, 10.
I love it. I love it. And students, if you're joining today and you haven't got into this form, I want to reassure you, these PowerPoint templates are going to work for a variety of different grades, a variety of different subject areas. If you're in a grade younger than 9 or even in a grade higher than 9, these templates are going to work for everyone. And that's what I love about PowerPoint is you can just take it in all these kind of creative journeys. And Shawnee knows I love to get creative.
You are very creative. I can't wait to see what you came up with.
All right, so keep interacting with us in those forms. So our plan today is basically to dive into some of the different creative uses of Microsoft PowerPoint. This is designed for the 7 to 12 classroom, but not to say it can't be adjusted to go younger than that. But even taking it to university and college level too. Like I said, I use PowerPoint day in and day out to just show my ideas in all different ways. I'm going to allow you to explore some of the creative features of Microsoft PowerPoint. There's lots of really cool things in there that I use. And I am going to share my templates with you. You're going to be able to learn how to make them as well as use them. I'm actually gifting you 10 templates today that you can
What?
just, I know. It's like you get one and you get one and you get one. I have made you your own file with 10 templates that I do encourage you to share in your OneDrive, just so you have them. And then with different assignments, different projects coming up, if you're like, oh, okay, this template might look perfectly for that, go ahead and use it. You, of course, don't need my permission. They are yours to keep. You can put your own personal flair on them, and I would absolutely love that. So without further ado, these are the PowerPoint templates. I put them in an own file, and I've done that specifically for a reason. So teachers and students, all the PowerPoints I have created in here with you today are what I call letter size. They are 8.5 by 11 inches, which makes them perfect for printing, putting up on the classroom wall. But I wanted to just show you that a lot of the time when I use PowerPoint, I don't leave it in the kind of traditional slide format, which is like a standard or a widescreen. I like adjust it and I create my own custom sizes. So in a new tab, the cc.page/PPT, so standing for PowerPoint templates. Please take a minute in a new tab, open this up. Now, two options. One, you might be prompted to like add this to your OneDrive. And if you get that, please click on that. Your other option is to open this up. Now, you won't be able to edit my version because it's my version, but you can always download it. So file, download, and then upload it to your OneDrive. And once you upload your own copy of this, you will be able to do whatever you want to these templates. So I can't stress this enough. It's super important. Please take advantage of these templates. If for some reason you are not able to get them kind of an edible version on the go during the session, not to worry, because I'm also going to show you how to design them. So you're going to have an option. So I do encourage you to download them, but if not, pay close attention because I'm going to show you how they work. Now, I'm curious if you've been able to get that PowerPoint template file up. There's 10 in there. Let me know in the form, the cc.page/answers to if there's one that's like caught your eye. If you're like, ooh, I might use that one. So let us know. Shawnee, how are our students doing?
Well, I'm just real quick. The way I am, I naturally scrolled through all of them real quick to see it, to just glance over everything. And I love the Canadian geographic one. I'm looking forward to that one. That one looks really, really fun. Tonis, hockey, Shauna, hockey. Hockey seems real popular here.
You know, it seems very Canadian. I love it. I love it. So that's great. I'm glad students were able to access the form. And students, if you haven't, that's a kind of little teaser when you're in there. There's a hockey card template. There's a couple magazine cover templates in there. But you know what I do? Even when I see templates, they even inspire further ones. So you might actually see one of my templates and be like, oh, well, I can put my own little spin on it. Maybe you even want to make your own type of magazine. It doesn't have to be one that already exists. So, Shawnee, I'm glad a couple of mine have caught your eye already.
Billy likes the wood type. Tyler, the hockey one. Yep, people are still coming in, so that's awesome.
Oh, wonderful. So check those out again one more time. It's the cc.page PPT templates for your own version of those 10 templates. Either add it to your OneDrive or download it and upload. Like I said, they are yours to keep for all your future projects. And I'm going to spend some time today in our session going over the templates, how you might use them, how you might create them, but also, most importantly, how you can use them to share your ideas.
So real quick, can we just go over the template page one more time?
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
If people do miss something in the future, because we're going live, but you can rewind it, right?
Absolutely. So here it is one last time. And this is a huge gold mine. I like to think it is. I hope you like them. The cc.page/PPT templates. So standing for PowerPoint. PPT templates. There's 10 of them. Add it to your drive or download upload, and then you should have your own editable version. But if you're just opening this in a new tab, you'll be able to see them, but you can't edit them until essentially you have your own copy of it. All right, Shawnee. Now, a few things you need to know about templates for PowerPoint. I wanted to just kind of go over some design basics before we dive right in there. And the first is to get creative. Now, I'm going to be going out of full screen in just a minute to show you some of those things. But there are so many things you can add into your template just with the features of PowerPoint. Most of my templates that you might have got a sneak peek of is basically the really careful layering of shapes. I also add icons, stickers, and illustrations, and those are all through the insert menu. I often even use stock images and web images, and stock images are the ones that are already built into PowerPoint. Web images, of course, are the ones you find through a search. You're welcome to use either. Lines and arrows, I carefully select my fonts and styles. Now, I've kept my fonts pretty consistent just for my templates, but Microsoft has some amazing fonts. And then the other thing to keep in mind is the contrasting and complementary colors. And you'll notice I adjust my colors based off my audience, based off my subject area. There's a Harry Potter template in there. And so I've kind of put a splash of Gryffindor in there, that like maroon color, but I'm very strategic that way. A lot of you mentioned that you like the hockey card. Well, I would customize the colors depending on the hockey team you have chosen. Maybe that's an NHL team. I have had a tour of the Montreal Canadian Stadium, and I love it. I've been behind the scenes. Maybe it's your local hockey team. Put their colors in. So a few of those things, and I'm just going to exit out to just show you here. A few of my go-to is under the insert menu. It's under, so shapes, of course, are all the shapes, but this little bird with the leaf over it it's definitely my go-to, is all the icons. And there is tons and tons and tons of content in here that I'm going to get to a little bit later. But the icons are great. There's always two. There's an outline one and kind of a solid fill color, and you can change the color of them to fit any of your template. So just going, there's images, there's icons, there's even people, stickers. Illustrations are great for textures and those added little, and yes, you can change the color of them. And there is also cartoon people, which would be great. Maybe you're making a comic strip. You could put those in there. So lots of great content that you can add. I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to go back to, I want to just go show you a couple other things about PowerPoint. Now, slide dimensions. I've mentioned this. You are able to create custom dimensions for every PowerPoint template that you use. Now, Shawnee, did you know you could even make like a 2-foot by 3-foot poster just with PowerPoint?
How do you do that?
Did you know that? Well, let me show you.
I knew you could change it to like paper size and stuff, but
yeah. So I'm not actually going to change the slide, but I'm going to show you how to change the slide because I don't want to turn this presentation into a 2-foot by 3-foot poster. But under design, there's this slide size drop down menu. Now I'm in widescreen, which is my go-to for presentations, but underneath is a custom slide setup. And as far as I know, there isn't really a whole lot of limitations. And there is some that are already set up, like 8.5 by 11. That's my go-to. That works great. 11 by 17, depending on your school capabilities, I can actually print 11 by 17s at my school. But if not, you can certainly send them to your local printing place as well. Yes, that's right. You could design even like a science fair 2-foot by 3-foot poster, download it as a PDF and send it to your local printing place. I do that all the time because sometimes I like my artwork and that on that nice glossy paper. So custom, you can set up any width that you'd like. So say if I want to do 11 by 8.5, and then you can choose if you want landscape or portrait. Of course, landscape being wider and portrait being the up and down. So little fun fact for you there. Your slide, that adds to me a whole level of creativity. just knowing that the slide dimensions are there. So these templates, which I've told you about but haven't really shown you, I know you've been checking them out. These are all 8.5 by 11s that I've shared with you, just so you know, for printing purposes. And the one last thing I wanted to just tell you about templates, even the pros out there. I'd consider myself like semi-pro. I don't think I've fully gone pro yet, but I certainly make templates all the time. And all they really come down to is the really careful and methodical layering of shapes. So maybe you start with some rectangles and you're adding your triangles. And with PowerPoint, or any graphic design, it's created in layers. So you start at the bottom and you work your way up. So I start with my base of the outlines, and then I add those final details. Now, if you ever do want to share them, and again, this is the link to all my PowerPoint templates if you need it again, but remember, you can download them, upload them, and now what you can do to hand them in, so to say, or to share them with your teacher, or maybe today's design you want to share with your teacher, you can click the share and enter the email directly. Maybe you want to work collaboratively with a peer. Maybe Shawnee and I want to work on a template together. You do have that option to share directly via the link. But Shawnee, are you ready to start diving into some templates?
Yes, I want to see how you're doing this.
All right. So the first one is the hockey player. This is great just to create a fun hockey card for yourself, a friend, a character. I know, well, Shawnee might know because he lives in Connecticut, but Shawnee, we have a very famous Canadian hockey book called The Hockey Sweater. And I even love to design things like this based off what I read. So pulling out this template, I want to just show you there's a really great way to change the image without having to kind of like delete this one and put a new one in. But if you right click on that player, now you can actually right click and change the picture directly. And you can change it from the device, meaning like maybe you have your hockey picture already saved on a device. Maybe you have a picture of your hockey player in a OneDrive. You could just check out the stock images. Bing is a search. So
Bing is amazing image search.
So I could actually go to Bing directly from my PowerPoint, and I'm going to type in hockey player. I have to confess that I don't really have a favorite team. Please don't dislike me for that. But you can go ahead. You could search by your favorite team. You could search by your favorite player. I am going to stay true loyal and see if there's one for the Montreal Canadiens. And quite enthusiastic there too, which I like. So I'm going to maybe choose this one. If I hit insert, it changes it directly. Isn't that amazing?
That is nice.
So one more time, I'm just going to show you. I hit Control Z to undo. By the way, if you ever make a change and you're like, whoa, I don't want that picture, Control Z. But all we did was right click, change the picture. We went from Bing. We typed in our team. We typed in the sport, however you want to search. You could, of course, get one from Google or a web search. Although I will just caution you, you will need to do formatting. If you don't right click and click change picture directly, you will need to relayer your image. If you copy and paste one from the web, it will literally be right on top of your template.
It'll be the top layer, right?
It will be the top layer because the most recent thing is always on the top. So it's important to keep that in mind. So just going ahead and changing your images. Now, if you have put it on top, you can click on your image under picture and click arrange. Now, the tricky part is there's send to back and there's send backward. Backward is one layer. Back is like the entire back. So if I actually sent my image to the back, it would be behind that white outline because like I said, I create in layers. So I have a background color, a white rectangle. Then I have my picture. Then I have a rectangle for the name. These are rectangles for the accent colors, rectangles because did you know, Shawnee, you can just type directly in shapes. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't. I think I've always like tried adding a text box on top of it.
Yeah, and nothing's nothing's wrong with the text box route, Shawnee, but I actually find it like kind of saves me a little bit
Well,
of
if it
layering and
saves
rearranging.
time.
So click directly in the shape. So it's designed for your team name here, your player name here. You can put a little bio, I've been playing for 5 years, or maybe how many goals or how many points you've got in a particular season. Your team logo, you can find that. Now, that's okay if the logo shows up on top because you want it there. It will be on top, and you can just delete my text. And this is designed for a position. So this would stand for left wing. And of course, 5 stars because you're a superstar. So there is the hockey player one. Now, Shawnee, keep me posted if there's any questions, but that's just one template. That's just one.
That's awesome.
I got more.
We don't have any questions, but shout out to Ashton who plays hockey. So,
woohoo! All right, let's power around through these templates now. Now, this is a go-to. I teach middle school, and of course, what classroom from grades 7 to 12 doesn't read novels? And the character summary is just a great one. It's a classic for all kind of language arts, English, and you can use this to summarize your favorite character, a short story, and really any piece of literature. So let's dive into that one. I have chosen Harry Potter. I mean, I've always been a fan. I have to confess that I'm a little drawn towards Hermione, but this template is super easy to use. Again, right click to change. So maybe if I actually wanted to do Hermione, I can go back to my big pictures, type in Hermione, and maybe this is a great time to mention that also the advantage of searching directly through here means you don't have to worry about that Creative Commons license. Do you see here, Shawnee? It says Creative Commons. That means you could use it for any publication, even if it went out into the public world where you were getting paid to make these amazing things. Creative Commons means you don't have to worry about that copyright. So that's a little thing to know. Another advantage of just searching directly through Bing is all the images are safe to use. They're high resolution images. They're great quality. And it saves you time because just a general web search, you're going to have to be sifting through a lot of random content.
Well said.
A lot of random. There's some undesired. So you can scroll through and, pick one you'd like. You can choose the younger Hermione or an older Hermione. I do get kind of lost searching for the perfect image, so don't be like me. But to me, this one here is really powerful.
Ooh, that's powerful.
I love how she's giving me that stare down, and I love kind of that fierceness of Hermione. So I'm going to switch it to that one. Ooh, that's looking nice. And now because my template is done with shapes, we can click on any of the shapes that I've added. You'll notice when you do insert a picture, it does caption it for you. You can just go ahead and delete that. But maybe I want to customize it to kind of flow. So it is a shape. To adjust the color, it's under shape. And maybe I want to go, you can use the theme colors. You can do recent colors. You can even do your own custom fill colors. I think I'll go gray. So I've done that switch there. I've added these in text boxes, which will make them easy to adjust. I know it's a little weird being sideways. Shawnee, I have to catch myself sometimes from doing the tilts. Nothing wrong with that. If your name doesn't fit, just go ahead and change the size. So you can adjust the size here under the font size. Yep, which I always do file. You need to go to home base. But I'm actually going to maybe complete my typing and then adjust it. Or if you're like me and sometimes you have struggles when it's on a 90-degree angle, just switch it back with the rotate tool. Because I don't know, sometimes I have such struggles.
That makes sense to me.
You can always rotate it back.
So just real quick, two things that have come up in the form thing. One is they can always rewind this and find the address to get all these templates and stuff. It was the cc.page/ppt templates. And then if they have any troubles with they might not be able to edit it right away, they might have to actually download that PowerPoint and then upload it into their OneDrive or whatever before they're able to edit things, correct?
Absolutely. Or another workaround, if you're like, okay, I just want this specific template, you can copy an individual one.
Oh,
Just copy, little fun fact, open up a new PowerPoint presentation, Control V to paste it in. So what I love, there's always really great
there's
workarounds to be had, because when you're handing an assignment, like you don't want all these templates in one. So you can just pull an individual one out. Again, maybe you go back to the hockey player, right click, copy, open up a brand new PowerPoint presentation. And I am on the web-based version. So simply go to office.com, new presentation, Control V to paste.
sweet. Thanks.
No problem. So for here, I've done all these. These are just shapes. So you could put, maybe when we want to just talk about her role in the Philosopher's Stone, you could insert all your text here. And then I've just added these other shapes. Like maybe you want to add her wand. Maybe you want to put, because Hermione's known for like memorizing her spells. So you could type a couple attributes or go into your icons. And I'm just going to see what's there. Going into your icons. Let's see if they have a wand.
Oh, nice.
At that. I'm going to add Hermione's wand. And to me, those little features, and you can customize them. You can change the color of it. And maybe I'm going to make it gray. I do like to
I was
color
just going to
coordinate.
ask, how do you change the color when it's in there? Oh,
Yeah,
there it
so
is.
you just make sure your graphic is selected, and then make sure graphics is selected on your menu, and then your fill color. So I've added you some other shapes there. So you can just have some design fun in there. And of course you'd put your novel summary there, or because I'm specifically doing a character, I would just write about Hermione in the square there. But a great template, it's there for you. Just wanted to show you. So it's there. I'm going to maybe backtrack a little bit on this template because some people are probably still saving these templates. So I want to leave them nice and fresh for you. But I just wanted to show you how you can manipulate them. So I'm going to put Harry Potter's name back and switch it back to my original Harry Potter image. But Shawnee, isn't that just amazing for showing your work?
That's fantastic. And I was thinking in that space, you could use that for like maybe one of her quotes and explain why it's so powerful. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do with this. And to be honest, right now, watching you just quickly undo everything was amazing, because I think that's really powerful too. Like, oh, I can get it right back
Yeah.
to, starting
And
over.
in the bottom there, you also have your undo redo, which are kind of my best friends, because you will find that I change my mind on pictures and colors all the time. It's just the way that I roll.
Sure.
Wow, students, that is just 2 templates out of more. Number 3, I'm not going to go over the details, but you can, of course, this is, I call it my more modern approach to a news article. And slide number 4 is a more traditional approach to a news article. You can go ahead. I wanted to just tell you about the stock images a little bit because they are amazing. So again, if you wanted to change the image, you're doing a newspaper report, and this is, again, universal for all subject areas. Maybe in science, you want to do a news report on a natural disaster. Maybe you've read a novel. I love The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. So maybe you want to do a newspaper article on one of the large events. Now, I don't want to do any spoilers, but there are some big ones in that one. So I like newspaper articles to just summarize that really big event, whether it's a science event, whether it's a novel event, maybe it's even current events. There is big current events going in the world right now. This is a great way to summarize and add your thoughts on it. So this is a stock image in this particular template. To change it, just go ahead and change picture. But I want to show you these stock images in Microsoft PowerPoint because they are so beautiful. And when I say beautiful, I mean like high resolution, but they're also images to me that get me thinking. And they're organized by categories. You have patterns, you have decorations, lots of different categories. You can certainly search. Maybe you want to even just type in the news and see what you get there. Maybe you want to just type in the world. Maybe you're doing something on geography. Maybe you want to type in a particular country. Sometimes I just like scrolling through and seeing what my options are and then building my article off of an amazing image I was able to find. But I find them really thought-provoking. I just love the quality of them. I love the vibrant colors. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one. And all I have to do is hit insert. And it is there. And if I hit crop, you'll notice that there is like more image than what was included. So if you hit crop, you can actually kind of adjust the positioning of your image. And then go ahead, you can change the text. This megaphone here is also just an icon. And I think newspapers look realistic when there's an advertisement, and then, of course, clicking in the text boxes to add your font. Now, speaking of fonts, be really strategic. If I'm doing a newspaper article, I wouldn't choose a font that was like a Comic Sans or like handwriting, right? Part of using templates is picking fonts that fit great. And like I said, there's tons of great fonts in there. Just going into the home menu, for me, it's under these 3 dots there. There is tons and tons of fonts, and the office fonts are just down here. There's a drop down, but just giving a scroll here, pick one. Like this one would look great. You want a high visibility font.
It's easy to read, right?
Yeah, like this Broadway isn't going to be necessarily like a great fit for your newspaper article unless you're talking about theater. Then it's going to be a great fit. So go ahead, make sure you're always like Courier New, classic for newspaper articles. It's like tried and true. It gives you that classic typewriter look. So be really strategic with your fonts and colors because they do convey a lot of meaning. My students always tell me that I'm super picky about those things. But when it comes to PowerPoint and designing, they convey more meaning than I think we realize sometimes. All right, Shawnee.
So, well, I think you made Abby's day because I have never seen somebody who's so excited about the news. So,
yes, I love it, love it.
Abby's filled it out like 3 times. I love the news.
Comic strips. So, comic strips are to me like the exact opposite of a newspaper article, but they can actually say the same thing. So if I wanted a more serious approach to my project, I would choose a newspaper. But if I wanted a really fun approach and I still wanted to communicate similar ideas, although I wouldn't make light of anything serious in the world. So just be aware of that. If you are doing a comic strip, make sure it's a topic that would be well received by your audience. And maybe for this one, I'm going to feature under the insert menu. This is my Bitmoji, by the way. That's a Chrome extension. That's a whole nother lesson. But if you do have Bitmoji available, you can use it. I just like throwing them in the templates because they're fun. If you want to leave them in, you can. But if not, you just click on them and hit backspace, and that one's gone. I'm going to delete this one. I really like that one for some reason. So I'm going to delete this one. But under the insert menu, again, under icons, I want to show you cartoon people. Like cartoon people, to me, are the perfect fit for your comic strip. And you can go through, you can pick your characters. You do have quite a few options. Maybe I'm doing a comic strip on appropriate cell phone use and digital wellness. So I can go ahead and pick this one in there. You can line it up, you can adjust them, move them around. And these are called callouts. They're all under the shape menu. And callouts are right here at the bottom. And you have a few different options. I want to remind you that the speech one is when you're actually like saying something out loud. The cloud is when they're actually thinking it, but the other characters don't hear it. So if I was like kindly making fun, and I would never make fun of Shawnee because I love him to bits. But if I wanted to like think something but not actually say it to Shawnee, I'm going to put it in the cloud call out. Like something like live closer to me, Shawnee, so we can actually see each other in person. So then once these call outs are in, all you have to do is just like my other templates, click in them. And you can adjust the formatting under the home menu. Because it has the gray background, I would pretty much choose like a black or a really navy blue. But I would start building my comic strip that way. Now, Shawnee, our
Yes.
students could come into a dilemma. They love this kind of cartoon image, but they maybe want her facing the other way.
That's funny because I was actually thinking, what if I was thinking the same thing, but for the speech bubble, like if the speech needed to be on the
Ah,
other side, like pointing it the other way or whatever.
absolutely. So
But I'm
students,
sure it's the same.
yeah. So just know if you like find a cartoon character that you love, but you're like, oh, it's not quite in the right direction. And I get this question a lot because I teach graphic design at my school, is you can duplicate it. Now I can just rotate this one, but I want to leave the original one to show you. So Control D on your keyboard, again, Control D on your keyboard duplicates anything. So say if you want to, and most likely in a comic strip, you would probably use the same character again to keep it consistent. Control D will duplicate your character. And now, Shawnee, watch this. Under graphics, and remember, always, if you want to adjust something, make sure you have it selected. It does need to be highlighted. So I'm going to select my image, click on graphics, and then I can arrange. And I can, again, relayer because we know graphic design is done in layers, but I can also go down and rotate. Now, let's, math teachers, you might love this, X and Y axis. So vertical would be your Y axis. Great math connection. Your horizontal will be your X axis. So if I flip vertically, I would actually turn her upside down.
That's not what we want.
It would actually look like a reflection if we're talking about math terms, maybe. But I want to flip horizontally, which is the side to side. So if I flip horizontally, there she is. And she's now facing the other direction. Which is a great way in your comic strip if you want, of course, your different characters to be like talking to each other. You don't want them all facing in the same direction. You want them to have a conversation. So under graphics, arrange, and you want to rotate them horizontally. Now, if you want them hanging upside down on a monkey bar, absolutely rotate them vertically. But have some fun with this comic strip. It's a universal one. Just double click at the bottom. Don't leave your title as comic strip title here. Make sure you title it. Oh,
Very fun.
I know I can't see all the students joining today, Shawnee, but I can just like kind of like sense the creativity flowing.
The people seem really into it. Love the comics. Two favorite things are hockey and comics.
You know what?
We already talked about Abby loving the news so much, so it seems that everybody's really into this.
I love it. So, Shawnee, why don't we go to a very iconic magazine? Now, off the top of my head, I believe Time Magazine was like started in the 30s and still going strong. And I think that says something about the magazine. It probably has good content. Great way to showcase, I find particular geography and social studies, exploring different parts of the world. This would make a great title page or a great way to caption something. Now, the only tricky thing I find with this template, and it's not even tricky, but this is the actual Time logo. So you're not actually able to change the color. And this comes down to like my picky graphic design thing. I want to always choose a picture that still allows that Time title to showcase. So if I chose a picture that had a red background, it would be really hard to see the title. And I know that seems super nitpicky, but if I'm doing a magazine cover, I want all my people to see my titles and my headings. So let me show you adjusting this one. Again, I love using the Time magazine for all things social studies. And Shawnee is like a genius when it comes to geography and places of the world. But again, that's another session. But Shawnee is a big geography
Very
guru.
good.
Um,
Very good, but I do love it.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. Is there somewhere in particular we should time travel today for our Time magazine? I've totally put you on the spot here. I
You
know.
did.
Where should we go?
There, can I look it up to make sure I get the right name?
Oh, just hope that I can spell it here.
Oh,
Or we could see in one of our categories here if you want.
so I was thinking in Australia, there are some really cool like beach cottages.
Oh, I love that. So, Shawnee, I'm going to type in Australia just to start here. Because we're in the, and these are highway. Oh, like
Those are
look at
amazing
these.
images. I think I could spend a good chunk of time just looking at these images.
Yeah. And just thinking strategically, like this one here, see how it has that background? That might look really nice with my title. So, Shawnee, let's try this.
Sure.
Thanks to the little time travel to Australia today. So I've clicked change image. Ooh, I like Shawnee.
The title really stands out there. That's fantastic.
It really stands out. So from now, you can go ahead and adjust your headings. Now you'll notice I've put a little transparency on this shape, but maybe you don't want it white because we have a lighter background. So under our shape, we could do a fill color. I think with this particular background, like a navy blue or a gray might look really nice. But that's a solid color. And I think it's kind of a shame to cover up such a beautiful image. Don't you think, Shawnee?
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not good. So under more fill colors at the bottom, I love the color, but this is a transparency meter. So I can make it a little bit see-through because I truly want to showcase that image I've chosen. So I'm going to go halfway. And now I can still see that beach coming through. And let's just adjust our text because we always want contrast. Now I have some white text and whoa, Shawnee.
Much better.
Love that. So I'm going to leave the bottom one just to show you. But with the shapes, you click on shape, you have your fill color, but at the bottom under more fill colors, have some fun exploring the transparencies because we want to allow those high resolution images to just shine through.
Yeah.
And you'd want to add your powerful beat, powerful. I'm already thinking beach here, Shawnee. But you would add your powerful words. And we'd probably say something. Whoa, sorry, I got ahead here. We'd probably say something about the beaches. Maybe even like best beaches in the world. And you can adjust your heading. Now, if I chose a navy blue for that one, maybe I'm going to go ahead and change a navy blue because I do like a good flow to the templates and a design. And already your Time magazine is just coming to life. And you are welcome to add. I've just put 2 headings in the template. You could add more. You could change the barcode. You can add an icon in there. Of course, you can change the date. Have some fun designing that Time magazine.
That is very cool. And a shout out to Shauna, who was born in Australia. So glad we picked that one.
And students, maybe because we're just over the halfway mark of the templates, let me know if you have a favorite. If you're like, okay, I've seen the hockey player one, I've seen the character summary now, we've done the news one, the comic strip, a Time magazine. Let me know if there's one you're like, wow, I would definitely use this tomorrow in my learning. So let us know. I'm going to keep showing you some templates because I want to make really good use of our time together. And plus, I'm just having so much fun showing you what I absolutely love to do.
I'm having fun just watching this and seeing how you put it all together because it's brilliant.
Perfect. So I think back to my time in high school, and even I do teach middle school. I teach grade 8. And we spend a lot of time on short stories and the different elements, and we talk about character and conflict and theme. And I've always been one that's very creative and very visual. And this template here will allow you to quickly summarize any short story. And I'm thinking if your teacher's watching, there's probably like, yes, this is so easy to do and it's ready. So all you'd have to do is enter your short story title. Tell me about a character or characters. You can even, I know high school English, talk about maybe they're a dynamic, maybe they're static, maybe they're a flat, maybe they're round. Round mean you know lots about them, not their physical size. The conflict, we know there's the 3 types of conflict: the person versus person, person versus nature, person versus self. Theme, those big ideas, the setting where it takes place, and then summarizing the thought. You could, of course, add your Bitmoji in there. You could add some icons in there. I've also added a nice comfortable chair here. But I love how you can just click, add your information, and then make this beautiful either printout or leave it digitally and share it with your teacher. Did you know, Shawnee, you could even download your display, your PowerPoint template as a JPEG?
I don't think I did.
So maybe you make this beautiful display and you want to even like put it somewhere else. Maybe you even want to put it in like a Word document to showcase your learning there. You can simply file, save as, and you can download these as images. So you can, and this might sound crazy to some people, I actually use PowerPoint to illustrate my writing and my work, and I can insert the JPEG into maybe Microsoft Word. I could put it in a OneNote. I can put it anywhere. I could put it on a website. I could even share it on social media.
You could even send it to have it like printed as a picture somewhere, right?
Absolutely. Now, the only thing with pictures, and this is again super nerdy Emma, if I'm printing at the school, I make them 8.5 by 11s. If I'm printing at a true photo place, I make them 8 by 10s or 5 by 7s, like true photo sizes. Does that difference make sense, Tony?
That makes total sense.
So again, printing in-house in school, I'm like 8.5 by 11s. But if I'm making art even, or I want it like done in professional printing in the matte or the glossy print, I choose 8 by 10s. 8 by 10s are my go-to all the time. I love how we're getting real into the nitty gritties here, Shawnee. We have covered some serious ground with these templates.
And just a quick shout out because Miss Webb evidently teaches geography and is loving all these templates and is going to be using them. So,
thank you for the love. I'm glad they are just reaching destinations because that's what I do. I love designing and sharing it. If they can be helpful for students to just share their ideas, because we don't want students spending hours and hours and hours like picking shapes and lining it up. If I can have that all ready to go for you, and then you just customize it with your colors and information, it allows you to focus on your ideas. So that's my goal today. And I'm glad they are going to great digital houses all over the world. Now, I get this all the time, Shawnee. Some people just have that, mindset, and this is not a bad mindset, but like PowerPoint research. But I use PowerPoint for like science fairs and the scientific process. Like I even have my students make 2-foot by 3-foot posters that outline the question, the hypothesis, the materials, and you're welcome to adjust the titles. This is the scientific process that we work on in my middle school classroom. So upper grades, you can certainly make it a bigger size and add more things to it. But all you need to do, type in your question, type in your hypothesis, so your educated guess as what might happen, your materials. And Shawnee, did you know for your materials, maybe you want to even add a bullet list?
Oh, nice.
So and you can add bullets in a shape. So I could go ahead and add these bullet points and you can list off your materials. Who doesn't? My kids always like baking soda, vinegar, volcanoes. So maybe we're adding the baking soda, the vinegar. I like to blow up a balloon with it. And of course our safety goggles, because we don't want to be careless. I always want to put goggles. All right, safety goggles. So you get the idea, but you can even put bullet points in. Same with the procedure. You could do the number of bullets. Observations you could choose. You could do text or images, because maybe maybe you're doing this experiment at home. You've taken some pictures with a device that you have. Insert picture from the device. Just save them to the device, and you can add those actual observations. Oh,
That's really powerful.
oh,
I like this, and with the short story, just how much easier it is. I'm thinking back to like a blank piece of paper, and you like got to start, and it's just daunting versus having these templates where it's like, okay, I jump in, I type, add my stuff, go. It's not as I don't think it's as I don't know not threatening, but it's not as difficult to get started because
not as overwhelming. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. They're all ready for you. And again, change the colors, change the headings. Instead of scientific process, of course, I'd put the title of my lab report. But isn't this so much easier? A teacher says, okay, do your formal lab report. This is still a formal lab report that's going to cover all of the ideas, all the learning that would normally be on that piece of paper. And I can just do it with a PowerPoint, and it's all ready to go. Now, Shawnee, that's a great segue. I mean, who hasn't written that classic, iconic 5-paragraph essay in high school? We've all been there. Students, don't worry. We do this because we want you to be successful
yeah.
and beyond, and to be able, because this is a very, very important skill. You're welcome, teachers, but it truly is. It's a very important skill. But we always have these like paper handouts, nothing wrong with them. But we can even use PowerPoint to organize and create these amazing graphic organizers. Again, these can be printed. You can still print these and hand them out to students. I make printable handouts all the time for my kiddos. Some people like to do it digitally. Some people like to do it on paper. This gives them both the options. If you want to do it digitally, do it digitally. If you want to do it by paper, print it out. And that's what I love about templates too. It just offers students so much flexibility for gathering and sharing their ideas. So you could practice your thesis statement. And the great thing about digitally is you can be constantly reworking it without having to like scratch it out. Of course, each one of these ideas would represent a paragraph, and you always want to have your distinct ideas and your concluding statement. So a very kind of traditional graphic organizer, but great to use nonetheless. And of course, it looks so good when you hand it in. And I know ideas are number one, but having them look really nice never hurts. Number 10, I only have a couple minutes left, so I just wanted to show you a couple others. I'm a yearbooker. I make the yearbook for my school. This is just a fun one for any topic. I have created these custom Polaroid pictures just with a white outline, and that's actually just a white rectangle over the top. These are pictures of Montreal, but you could pick an image here, 3 supporting images, and then summarize that topic, in which these are also great to just design posters for around your school. Maybe you have a special event coming up. We have theme days at our school. This would be a great way to do it. They're very eye-catching. So if you wanted to advertise something about a school or a cause or a fundraiser, that works great for that too. And the last one is the Canadian Geographic, and this is the actual logo as well. Works very similar as the Time magazine, changing the color, changing your headings, have some font, have just lots of fun exploring different fonts. Again, pick your fonts towards your audience and your topic. Serious topics should have serious fonts. Fun topics, of course, you can add the creative flair in there. But that was a power round.
Yes, it was.
It was a power round. And I'm just going to skip ahead here because I've named some of these templates. By the way, the science one I call like Bill Nye. I have the classic essay, the yearbook spread, the Canadian cover. But I do want to just end because I'd love to know your thoughts kind of gearing into these last couple minutes today. And my questions are, because the feedback is so important to me, is I'm very curious what features or like what template after that like power round of templates. Either what one you might use right away, again, in the form, the cc.page/answers to, or question number 2, and I always love hearing this, is there something new that you learned about Microsoft PowerPoint today? Like maybe it was an icon, maybe it was just the shapes, maybe it's just like, wow, I can make this any size I want and really just layer all these components to make a masterpiece. Shawnee, I'm going to put you on this.
Aside from your creativity, which I really loved, I think probably the most practical tip that I picked up is I don't have to put, if I'm using a shape, I don't have to put a text box in there as well. I can just type right on the shape, which seems like something I should have known, but.
And Shawnee, getting even more technical, it's like, yeah, it's on, but it's actually in.
Yeah.
You're typing in the shapes. And you know what I love doing that too, is that if you choose to change the size of that shape, the text is going to follow with you. So it actually saves you time. So if you're typing your information in the shape and you want to adjust your shape, it's going to adjust the text with it. But if you do it in a separate text box, again, nothing wrong with it, but you will also need to adjust the text box, because text in a shape will kind of automatically get formatted. Yeah.
That's a nice tip, because that saves you time down the line. If you change something, you don't have to change twice, right?
Oh, and it's all about working smarter, not harder sometimes. Like if there's, and you'll find that with technology, it's even the duplicate tool. Like if I'm doing a comic strip, I'm just going to insert one of the boxes and then I'm going to duplicate it 5 more times to get a total of 6. It makes it a lot easier, because once I format the one, I am just going to duplicate them so I don't have to just format all of them individually.
Shauna learned about the icons, which is pretty cool. Miss Webb says hockey national, pretty much all of them. She listed pretty much all the templates there. Liam wants to use the yearbook template for a club.
Ooh, great idea, Liam.
And Lily says she's looking forward to using the book one, I think, with the little Bitmoji in the chair for short stories.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing with templates. Like you can customize them to fit any subject, anything that you're doing. Like delete one of the shapes. Maybe you need one less box. You can make another one bigger. There's just so much flexibility that you can do. And I just love thinking of PowerPoint in a totally different creative way. Yes, it makes for brilliant, research presentations.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But now we can just like think about it in a whole new creative way. And these are just 10 templates. There's like thousands of different templates that you can make. And there's also really great templates available online as well. Just to name a few: Slides Mania, Slides Go, Slides Carnival. They are incredible humans that have free templates for you as well to use. So feel free to check those out as well. Here they are as well. So Slides Mania, Slides Carnival, Slides Go. Again, these are real life humans that, like me, make templates for you. And these people are professionals. Yeah. So they are like
they are very nice designed.
But I do encourage you to check them out, because even if they're a standard like PowerPoint widescreen, you can still adjust those slide dimensions. You can still add those extra shapes. So I do encourage you to check out those resources for you. Now, Shawnee, it has been an incredible hour. I have had so much fun.
That was a lot, but it was so fun.
Great. And that's the best part. Like this is recorded. So if you want to go back and kind of get some tips on designing these PowerPoints, or maybe you just need the link to those templates itself, it's all feel free to rewind, save this as resources. Like I said, these templates are there to use. And I've just had so much fun designing, creating, and sharing them with you. And I hope to see you soon.
Well, that was awesome, Emma. Thank you very much. And it's always great to connect with you. I will end the broadcast now and tell everyone, thanks for joining us and have fun.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon.